1, 2, me then you. Boom, 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 boom. Da da da. Da 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 da. Da da da. Hey everybody, Gary here with Guitar Tricks, and in this video I want to give you your first lesson on rock soloing. So we're going to use a couple of the Guitar Tricks backing tracks that I found here on YouTube. One's going to be in a minor key and the other's going to be in a major key, but I'm going to show you how to use the same simple pattern for both major and minor and some ideas to get you started. And then I'm going to encourage you to come up with your own ideas and we're going to trade back and forth a little bit. Before we get into it, please go ahead and click subscribe so that you get all of the latest and greatest content from Guitar Tricks. And if you want to be notified of any new lesson, be sure to tap the bell and let us know in the comments what you'd like to see in future lessons. That's where we're always looking for ideas. All right, let's get into it. So the first backing track is in D minor. So the first thing I think of is, okay, where is the D minor scale? Well, I want to play it kind of up high. I mean, there's all these different places. You know, I could play it in the middle of the neck. That's the D minor pentatonic. But I'm going to come up higher to the pentatonic pattern 1, and I'm going to find my D either right here on the 10th fret of the low E string or the 10th fret of the high E string. Being they're both E strings, the notes are the same on each fret. They're just a couple octaves apart from one another. So the pattern looks like this. But we're going to focus on the higher notes of the pattern because those are the ones that are really going to stand out over this backing track and really give you that lead space, right? If you're playing down low, it's not going to stand out as much as... But eventually, of course, you want to be able to go from low to high and just keep working your way up and down. But we got to start somewhere. So we're going to start a little higher. So we're going to take that pattern and we're really just going to focus on the top 2 strings. On those 4 notes. Now, as far as what fingers to use, being we're really up high, you could use index finger, then ring finger, then index, then ring, or you could use index, pinky, index, pinky. When I get up high on the neck, I tend to use index and ring, but sometimes I use index and pinky too. It all depends on the whole phrase that I'm trying to play, but experiment with both. It's good to be able to do both. Now, the other thing is this hard rock style, I've got some distortion. Right now I'm using the Line 6 HX Stomp, and I'm using one of their distortion effects, and I've got a little reverb. So it's just distortion and reverb, but that distortion is what gives you that real heavy sound. As opposed to clean, which would be, right? That's really not going to stick out too much and not match the style. So really any kind of distortion pedal or overdrive pedal will get you there. And I like to just add a little bit of reverb because it just adds a little more dimension to the sound. So these 4 notes are on the 10th fret and the 13th fret of the high E string and then the B string. Now, the other cool thing is that we have this other pattern, pattern 2, right above it. And if we look at just the top 2 strings of that pattern, it's 13, 15, and 13, 15 on the next string. So we have this pattern and this one. And I could slide in and out of them like this. Or, right? Sliding in and sliding out. And this is going to work in any minor key. It's just about finding that tonic note, or the note that the key is named after, in this case D minor, and putting your first finger right there. So you might be wondering, well, why are you just limiting me to these notes? Well, we got to start somewhere, right? And getting to know one little thing really well will help you be really musical right away. If you're trying to just learn all these scales and play with all these scales, you're not going to have any idea of what's going on as you just try to play all these notes all over. It's just going to be totally random. So sometimes less is more. It forces you to get creative, and it helps you to be really intentional about what you play. So with that being said, I'm going to play an idea and I want you to play it back to me. So you could use your eyes, use your ears. I'm going to keep it really simple. First, I'm going to start with these 4, and then you're going to see me work up to the next pattern. Cool? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, me then you. Boom, 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 dum. Da da da. Da 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 da. Da da da. Da 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 da. Ba da da da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da da da. Nice. Okay. Now I'm gonna slide up to the next spot. Watch this. 1, 2, me then you. Da da da. Da da da. Da 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 da. Do 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 do. Do da do da da. Do da do da da. Awesome. All right, now I'm gonna play ideas that are a little bit longer, so you have to listen for longer and you're gonna play for longer. Okay, these are gonna be 2 measure ideas. And a 1, 2, me then you. Bow, dow, 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 dow. Da, dow, 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 da, 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Boom boom. Da 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 da. Now I'm singing them just so you understand how you should play them back to me and when you should play them back to me. But I encourage you to sing them too. That's the best way to create a connection between what you hear and what you play, and to do some ear training, right? So, you know, as you play, you could try to sing it, or you could even just try to sing it and not play it if you don't have your guitar with you. Let's do a few more. 1, 2, here I go. Down, 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 down. Down, 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 down. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, nice. Now you can see I'm doing something called vibrato, where I'm just shaking a note. I'm taking that note and I'm slightly bending it up and down with consistent timing. Right? So now you're gonna see me add that to some of my phrases. See if you could add it as well. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, 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 down. Down, 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 down. Awesome. Cool. So now you're going to see me do a bend. I'm not actually going to go up and slide up. I'm going to bend up. So in other words, I'm going to take this note and bend it to the sound of this note, and then take this note and bend it to the sound of this note. Okay? So I'm just pushing the string up to get this pitch, and then okay, here we go. 1, 2, me, then you. Da 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 bow. Bow 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 bow. Bow down 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 down. Bow bow down bow bow bow. Let's do that again. Bow bow down bow bow bow. Nice. Now I'm gonna try hammer-ons and pull-offs. So that's where I take one note and I hammer my pinky or my ring finger to the next note on the same string, like this. And then now I'm going to do it on the next string. So just like a hammer, you got to cock it back a little bit, and you want to hit with the tip of your finger, like this. And then here. That first hammer-on I did was weak because I didn't hit it dead center with the bone. So you really want to hit the string dead center with the bone. So here's some hammer-on pull-off riffs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hammer, 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 play. Okay, now to these 4. Hammer, 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 play. Yeah. So the cool thing about hammer-ons and pull-offs is they allow you to play pretty fast without having to pick very fast. You know, I could go. I'm only picking like this, but hammer, right? As opposed to, I don't actually have to pick that fast. And then you could do things like, right? Sounds really fancy, but all that is right there. For instance, let's say I take that 13th fret and I play both those notes as a stack and I bar it, and then I go hammer on, pull off like this. So one pick, I get 3 notes. And then the next string. So that's just a little extra, that's a riff, but also an exercise. So you could do that here. Or with your ring finger. And then do it here. And even though it sounds kind of, you know, like a gimmick, just a little bit of that thrown into your solo, like this. Right? I went. Three notes for one pick. Right? So between hammer-ons and pull-offs, slides, vibrato, bends, I could do a lot of things. So I'm just going to use these 6 notes to play a solo, right? Another thing I didn't mention, well, I sort of mentioned it, is you could play these notes as stacks because they're right on top of each other if you bar them. So I'm going to add all that together and just try to hear little ideas in my head, really get to know these notes so that I could kind of sing through the guitar, because I really know what sound is going to come out when I put my finger on a certain spot, because I've just spent all this time on these notes. I start to really know what it's going to sound like before I play it. It's not like just randomly putting your fingers places. You actually have intention, and that kind of separates someone really creating music versus someone just pressing frets randomly, right? Okay, here we go. So this is just a demonstration. Now, another thing is when you feel like, like I'm just playing the same thing over and over, there's little things that you could do to kind of spark an idea. One is think to yourself, okay, I want to leave space. So I started to do that. I found myself running on and rambling, and I said, let me leave some space, because leaving space, first of all, it creates contrast for the listener, but it also gives you time to come up with something to say. You know, like when you're having a conversation, you have to pause, think about what you want to say. So it's the same with music, is giving yourself that space, giving the listener that space so that they could take one idea at a time and you could develop one idea at a time. Another thing is taking like a rhythm and just moving a different rhythm between notes. So let's say I have a rhythm that goes da-da-da. You know, I can go. Right, I'm just using that rhythm and moving it to different notes. So now here's the cool thing. That was in a minor key. Let's say we want to do that in a major key. Well, in the major key, if we look at that pattern 1, your pinky is the root note. Let me demonstrate. All right, I found another Guitartrix backing track in the key of C major. So what I'm going to do is find a C, again on the high E string or the low E string, and I'm going to put my pinky on it. And so that's going to be here on the 8th fret. And I'm going to play the same pattern, but now my pinky is my tonic note. So that means that instead of the pattern going to the right from my index finger, it's going to go to the left from my pinky. So, and then see, it ends on my pinky. I could play this note, but my tonic is where the pinky is, and that changes the whole sound of the scale. It sounds major. If I start on the A, it sounds minor. It's a cool little ear thing. We don't have to get into the theory, but just know that it works. You could play any scale as both major or minor. And then again, I could slide up. So watch, we could do all the same things in C major. And in this case, I'm going to play an idea and then you play an idea, and we're going to trade back and forth. so now I'm gonna play 4 measure ideas, and then you play 4 measure ideas. So 4 measures is 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. Awesome job. So once you get this, from there, you know, you could explore the next 2 strings. Right? And then you move down to another pattern. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you want to learn more about playing guitar, head over to guitartricks.com. There's a library of high-quality song lessons. There's step-by-step courses on guitar fundamentals, rock, blues, country, a guitar toolbox, and so much more. Happy playing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.